Welcome back, guys. This is anime discussion. We'll be continuing from part 1 of what if Luffy wanted to become the strongest pirate. And I'm going to be continuing from right where the point where he saw the bounty. Okay, so as Luffy opened the paper, he found it said a bounty of 3.9 billion bounties. He was happy and excited. He was so excited of his new bounty raise. So excited about it, he wanted to eat a feast. But the problem is when you're in the middle of the ocean, because Luffy knew how to ship a sail, but he wasn't really focused on it. He was really focused on escaping the Marines. So he was just in the middle of the ocean. He thought his only option was to go swim and get fish. But then at first he thought he'll die because, devil fruit makes you can't swim. So it's a better idea. He'll put his hands down, and if a fish tug grabs it, so he did it. He scratched his hand down in the water and just kept it there. A couple hours passed by, like 3 to 4 hours passed by. Then Luffy feels a fish grab onto him. Grabs onto the fish. Then he realizes he has no wood, no way to make a fire. So then he decides to go to this nearby little shop to get like I don't know if they have lighters in One Piece. I'll just say the lighters like these 2 rocks. Yeah, and then he got some rocks, got some wood, and then he's just started, doing the rocks and fire thing. Cooks the fish, eats it, then thinks about his next plan on becoming the strongest. And then he thinks about training for a couple weeks due to the fact that he got bodied by the 3 admirals, and think easily that Kaido or Whitebeard, even though I think Kaido could take on 3 admirals, but I don't think Whitebeard would get mauled by 3 admirals. But he thinks in his head that Whitebeard could easily take on 3 admirals, Kaido could easily take on admirals. Shanks, he thinks as an emperor he should be able to take on 3 admirals, which I'm like, it's stupid, but still, it's Luffy. So he starts training, but that he has a gear 5 now. But I think gear 5 is the only I'm going to do, because I use some other channels that do stuff like gear 10. I actually went to this channel, not going to state names, but it went to all the way to gear 15, and I'm like, ain't that too? I think what people forget the most, the fact that the harder the gear, the longer the gear is, gear 4 and 5, that's more of Luffy's life being cut off from him. You understand? The Gundam fruit was not meant to be used the way Luffy. That's why a chunk or a couple seconds of his life every time he does a punch. So it's slowly taking down Luffy's life. Well, anyway, let's continue before the video ends. Well, so after he finishes training, he develops gear 5. He has Bistle King. That's the name Bistle King, where his body, his arms and legs are golden, and in this form he can punch. He also has something called gear 5 swords form, and this sword is when he uses the Bistle. Yeah, it's like when he uses Bistle King, except he uses the golden hockey, and because the Bistle King is real hockey from the One Arc, like that. It's when he covers him with it. So basically he uses that to fuse with a sword. So he also has sword form. Okay, so because he's trying to master it. And the perfect opportunity for him to get even stronger, see how his powers go, is to go to a marine fort. But then he thinks about if he's not strong enough and how he will die, because he only got lucky that he could escape because the marine admirals were playing with him. So he tries to get on a ship that he left out in sea. Sees that his ship is gone and a bunch of bandits took it. Instead of going to go get it, he goes around the island and just starts looking for shops to build them. And this is where he finds, he finds this lady, he finds this old lady that leads her to his ship shop. The lady gives him a ship and all that, is very old. She's like in her 60s or something. Alright? She gives Luffy the ship. But after she gives Luffy the ship, Luffy says thanks. Right, he gets back on his ship and starts sailing out to think about what he needs to do. He thinks that he needs a crew member, but then he realizes if he has a crew member, then he will not be considered the strongest part. He might be considered like the strongest crew. So he thinks no. And this is where he encounters Edward Weevil. If you do not know who he is the son of Whitebeard. He's the guy that everyone's been going crazy about when they first saw him. Like, the guy that took down 16 high-level pirates and destroyed a town in one slice, okay? Okay? He's the guy that everyone is scared of back in when Whitebeard died. So, he encounters him. Edward Weevil asks him who he is. Luffy does not respond to him because Luffy in his head doesn't care about it. And then Edward was like, I am Edward Weevil, the son of Whitebeard. And that gets Luffy's attention. He was like, are you strong? Edward Weevil does the whole thing like, I am the strongest or whatever. Like how Whitebeard claims always to be strongest. And he attacks with his chaffle. Luffy just blocks it with his sword. They start getting into this mini fight. Luffy starts getting fun. Then Luffy decides to end it. Because Luffy just blitzed behind him using the gum fruit on his legs. And then just goes behind him. And just uses this goes gear 4, elephant punch. And just elephant punches him. Getting him knocked out. Luffy doesn't really want to kill him. So Luffy just leaves him there. Then while Luffy is just walking around the island since he doesn't want to go back on a ship again, just walking around. That's when he meets a Navy pilot that was on the island. They immediately recognize Luffy. And then the Marine has a custom devil fruit. I know in the show, not many Marines have devil fruits, but this one's special, okay? His devil fruit is called the pressure devil fruit. Basically allows him to use smoker. Yeah, like smoker, except it's like a thick fog that forms around him. And when he punches Luffy uses armament hockey on his stomach so he doesn't feel anything. Then Luffy punches him with armament hockey blow and just knocks him out. But Luffy liked his devil fruit, so Luffy asked him, where did he find his devil fruit? Well, that's all after Luffy slapped him a couple times, making him. The Marine in his head knowing he has no choice to answer him, so he found it in one of the Navy's island conquerors. He can't remember the name currently, but he said after he found it, he just ate it, and it gave him this. And Luffy says, okay. Then the Marine says, you're not going to get away with this. I'll call all my admirals or something like that. Like when the person are embarrassed and they just say they're going to ring. And then Luffy just uses he just stretches his arms backwards and just knocked them out again. And then decides to go back on a ship, knowing that if there was one Marine, there was another Marine and he was in the mood for it. So he just jumped back on his ship and just continued shipping the sea, I guess. That is until he meets Blackbeard. And then Blackbeard immediately recognizes him. And Blackbeard's like, so you're the one that wants to become the strongest pirate or named the 5th Emperor of the Sea. And he does this evil grin, like a Blackbeard grin. And then he just starts shooting at Luffy, and Luffy just stands there knowing bullets don't work on him. And then Whitebeard gets mad and just uses his dark food and just throws this huge slash at Luffy. And Luffy immediately reacts and uses his armament hockey to block it, while he jumps to block his legs from it. But that didn't work, and Luffy just falls on his face. Now that he's mad, that he activates Conqueror's hockey and just knocks out all of Blackbeard's crew. I know Blackbeard has some pretty good crew, but like, you know what I'm saying? You know how in anime when you're mad, you're basically unstoppable? I'm not going to do that, but you'll see. He knocks out everyone on Blackbeard's crew, except Blackbeard himself, who just starts laughing at this and this. This is his Conqueror's Hockey. Yeah, I'm making Blackbeard have a Conqueror's Hockey, because he should. And yes, the Flex Luffy's. Now this Luffy goes Gear 5th, Sword Mode, and just starts slashing. Like, he just slash Whitebeard. Thinking that Whitebeard's done for, turns around, and then he just sees these marks that starting like, that just starting like get back with this dark thing. Like basically, Blackbeard's like dark fruit's like a Kainu's like lava fruit, okay? Like, he can regenerate himself with it. So when he realizes this, Luffy gets mad and just put his sword down on, remember, puts his sword down on the ground they're on, goes Gear 5th, Pistol King, and just starts, and then Blackbeard starts using the Quake fruit, and Blackbeard's boxing with Pistol King, right? While they're boxing, some of Blackbeard's crew starts to wake up, and Blackbeard, now realizing his crew's up, uses the Quake fruit to just use it on the ground, but instead of making it to damage the ground, he makes it that the Air Force just launches him back, and then all his crew just starts attacking him. So, do you know the scene? If you watch Naruto, you know this, and that's the scene where Madara starts just boxing the Shinobi Alliance, or just imagine one person just fighting over hundreds of people. So Luffy just beating him. When Luffy gets tired of this, he just jumps up and uses Gear 5th, Air Wind. This is basically like Izuku's Air Force, except it's way stronger because it'll flick. He just puts all his power into this one and just throws it. It's so strong that it knocks out all Blackbeard's crew again. For some reason, they didn't stay down. And then the Blackbeard fight continues. After a couple hours of fighting, Luffy realizes that he's never gonna win. So he just decides, you know what? If this doesn't work on him, he uses Gear 5, Pistol King Elephant. So basically, unlike when I said his Pistol King covers his entire legs and arms, when I said the Pistol King, covers his legs and arms, this time it all goes into his one arm. It's like glowing with this. So his arm is glowing, and he just punches Whitebeard with all his force, and just knocks down Whitebeard. But in the end, he just gets knocked out at the same time. When he don't get out, they more pass out. Whitebeard was when they got knocked out. He passed out from overdraining his power. Then 30-40 minutes later, he wakes up, doesn't see Blackbeard, and thinks that Blackbeard knocks him out because he's passed out, and doesn't know that, in him. But he doesn't care. He said, at least I maybe put a good fight for him. Realizes his ship is gone and thinks, Blackbeard, you bastard. But he uses Legman to jump all up in the island, grabs a tree, he just extends to grab a tree, throw it on there, and just sits on the log and just using one of his arms while extended like a paddle, and just paddling. And then he starts forgetting about how he knocked out Blackbeard. And then he said he'll revel nearby home to rest because he's still feeling drained. Not many people can knock out Blackbeard. But in his head, now that he remembers his all, he thinks that he is about like not even close to being as equal as Blackbeard because he thinks he can match Blackbeard, but he needs to get a little bit more stronger so he can match Blackbeard going all out. So he's just paddling, goes to him, and he rests, sleeps, eats, just does it. Well, looks like I ran out of time here. I don't have enough clips. Well, this anime discussion, that's part 2. Part 3 is gonna be the final one, cause I might have new what ifs. Well, that's it. Bye.